Hello, Passage of Time tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Xcom 2 Long War 2 with me, BlueAnkylo. So, I realize, game time wise, the last, 4 episodes has been, 1 day. But, we gotta get this stuff done. Anyway, just a quick recap on the base since nothing much has happened. We're just finishing off basic research for the first time. After that, we'll talk about what comes after that. But, we did get a new scientist. We should get a faster research rate after this. We're clearing out some debris, building our advanced warfare center. We're not building anything in the engineering right now. We're training some people up in the guerrilla tactics school. We've got a fair number of soldiers. Luckily, not too many of them are wounded or killed yet. And some basic haven management, nothing too crazy. So where to scan today? We got a couple of missions on the way. That'll take a few days at least. For now, I think let's just scan West Asia because low strength and there's no missions here already. So maybe we can find something worth doing. And we've trained up our first person out of the guerrilla tactics school. We got a new grenadier. And second one, we got a new assault. Now, I suppose I may as well train most of the rookies up. On the other hand, you could keep a couple rookies as rookies and save them for future special 9th class. Maybe particularly rookies that have reasonably good willpower. These 3 look like reasonable options. That's going to take a while, but, maybe one day. I think optimally I'd want high mobility, high willpower. I don't care about the other stats for the secret class. You can probably guess what it is. So do I want to train any more up? Basically, that's the question, is do I want to train anybody else up? I think the answer is no. I think we've got enough squaddies right now, and we just take the people we've got. How many do we have total? So I've got 44 soldiers right now. They're not all, 44 minus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 38 soldiers. That's enough for 4 or 5 infiltrations at once pretty easily. So I think that's fine. You could certainly keep training them up though if you wanted. And we're still, well, to be fair, I could get wet work and that'll help. The earlier you get that, the more XP you get. Would that be worth 75 supplies? Lightning Strike is neat, but I don't think it's worth 150 right now. And Vengeance is probably even less valuable. It's cheap, but, someone has to basically die. These ones require a very high officer rank. Vulture's pretty awesome. That's not too far off. One more promotion and we could get that. Once we start doing PCS stuff, this is a really nice bonus as well. And this is handy for not losing people, obviously. It's gonna take a while before I can afford that, unless I sold a bunch of stuff at the black market. Let's wait until we've got a few more supplies, but getting wet work early seems like a good idea. Maybe once we clear some debris. Alright, well there's 58, that's almost enough, just like that. So, the other thing is, we could save up resources and build something. What would I build? So we've got 3 power to spare. We will need a resistance comms, but I probably want to start building towers. I want to get to 3 out of 3 before I worry about rushing this. The lab would be nice before too much time goes by. I could afford a lab. Also, the workshop. One of the cool things about the workshop is if you put 1 engineer there, you can send 2 gremlins to clear nearby slot. So if we cleared the power coil, well, you'd probably want to put a power plant there. If we cleared this one, we could put a workshop here and then help it clear out the neighboring 2 areas quicker with gremlins rather than engineers. But that's a pretty mild bonus. I probably want to build a workshop here, and then maybe power and resistance comms, because then the gremlins can work those 2. Something like that. And then power, or see, can I wait? This is going to take a fairly long time, unfortunately. 45 days. Can I wait? Sorry, don't start yet. Could I wait to build a power plant to just put it right on the exposed cell? Because, if I put, you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say here, is if I just build the power plants here, I don't have to worry about demolishing them later because I put them somewhere inefficiently. But can I wait that long is the question. So I could only really build like one more building if I don't do the power relay first. And not a resistance comm. So I'm really delaying the resistance comm. But I could get the lab going, which will help the research. And then save the workshop. Or I could put the workshop here, and that'll speed up the digging once the workshop's done. That might not be a bad idea. I'm a little bit short on engineers. And then the workshop would be beside a power coil. So I want to, later on when I need power, I can send them there for free. And then I just need to make sure I put something here that the workshop could also use. Like, well, not the lab, but probably resistance comms here. And then maybe the lab up here, because it does need adjacency. Actually, I kind of like that. So let's get enough money to build the workshop. I can probably sell something for that. And then I'll have to do a little bit of math for what I want my engineers to do. Alright, let's go to the black market. I just need, what was it, 80? That's not bad. You know, having a lab early would be nice, but I think the workshop is the right choice. And then we can get the power plant at without wasting it so much, basically. And I do have more of these Illyrium cores. We really will need these later on, but for now they might just be money. Really. Because I don't really want to sell much of, like, I want to equip most of these other ones. Also, like, you can eventually research these and build them yourself, but you need 3 spares to do that, so you kind of want to hold on to the stuff you want to build. The laser sight isn't that good. I mean, it's good. Is it 20 supplies good? Let's just sell the Illyrium core. We don't need them too bad. I just need one that I can break down, and then that'll be enough to do alien laser weapons. And then I don't think you actually need crystals to build lasers. Like, you just need, like, early on, you just need a little bit of alloys to build the weapons. And then later, like, the higher tier weapons need more alloys and eventually Illyrium. And eventually Illyrium cores, but that's for, like, plasma tech. But that's so far away, like, I think the money's worth it. And we could start building it, but no, let's get this going.
Workshop construction initiated.
Now, my question is it better to spend 7 days and get 2 workers here, or spend 14 days and have 14 days started here? You know, like, how does the math work out here? Can we figure this out? So, after 7 days, we'd get 2. It takes, let's see, we're gonna pull the other engineer back. I just need to, I need to see what the numbers are. So, 1 engineer would take 45 days. The second one should cut that in half. So that's 22 days. And if I can get a third one, that's, I think, minus 33%, which would probably be 15 days. Something like that. So, altogether, it would take 7 plus 22. That'd be 29 days if I rushed the workshop. Or if I just started this now, 45 days, then 14 days into it, so 31 left, it would cut it in half, and then you'd have 15 days left. That'd be 14 plus 15 was 29, versus 7 plus 22 is 20. So is it exactly the same no matter how I do it? Is it just, it's one of those situations where it doesn't really matter? Okay, it doesn't really matter. Is it worth having the workshop earlier then? Does this give me any advantage if I build this quicker? Probably not. As soon as this is done... See, I would get an extra engineer. I don't know. You know what might be more sensible? Like, if I thought I might get a new engineer as the time goes by, getting the multiplier, the minus 50%, the minus 33% earlier while there's lots of time left probably makes more difference than if I start this. I don't know what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to average out the same no matter what happens. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Just blue going crazy. Just math stuff. No big deal. But I'm trying to stay on top of, building up the Haven ASAP. All right, we've got our first officer, Lady Blue. Let's have a look. So, because she's an officer, she gets all kinds of cool stuff just automatically. So, by default, all people in her squad gain a bonus to willpower, dodge chance, and infiltration times. So, not your primary stats, like, it's not aim or defense or mobility or anything. But they are valuable stats. And this works by keeping your squad the same, and they keep going on the same missions. I don't know how much of a bonus it is, but it's a bonus. The command bonus is actually really good. This is kind of like a free action. I think they had this in Long War 1 anyway. You spend your turn to give someone else a free shot, or a free action. And you get a different number of charges as you promote up the officer tree. I think you can only go up the officer tree as far as your soldier rank as well. Intervention is a interesting way of dealing with turn timers. Because I don't like the turn timer mechanic, I can't say I'm a huge fan of this. But I do understand the idea. Spend intel permanently to add 2 turns to the timer. This could save you a squad wipe. But my fundamental idea with timers is I don't like them. So wasting intel to make the timers less bad, I don't know. But if you're playing with normal turn timers, this is maybe the right ability for you. Commissar means you can kill your mind-controlled friends with a pistol automatically. Great. I'm pretty sure that's from Warhammer, right? Pretty sure. And then you'll need this if you have a pistol. You have to have a pistol equipped, but you can pass a spare to a civilian, and then they can fight. This is probably pretty weak. I mean, it's fine, but, whatever. And then focus fire is the ability to be trained, which lets them cumulative bonus, aim bonus, and armor piercing bonuses. Every shot gets better the more people shoot the target on that turn. Kind of neat. There's lots of other stuff that we'll look at later on. I'm not, hugely impressed by these abilities. I think command is the best one, and the leadership bonuses is pretty cool. There is lead by example, and then if your officer has really good stats, this one shares them with the squad, sort of. Half of them, anyway. Half of the difference. But, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So I could probably train another officer. I have to figure out who's... Like, part of the trouble here is, like, I need one officer per squad. And it doesn't show you what squad they're in from the screen. So I have to decide ahead of time. And I should probably just start training them all up immediately. So, Lady Blue is currently on the Unpanicked, although I've only really set up these 2 squads. And they're currently infiltrating. Technically, either of these 2 could go train, and so could Tim. Oh, he's one of my new names. But certain classes make better officers in my book. For one, they have like a command radius, so they have to be kind of in the middle of the team. So a sniper's kind of out, shinobi's kind of out, assault sort of out because they're not really in the middle of the group very often. They're generally up front flanking. Also, they spend actions to do support. So a ranger that generally double shots, they focus on hitting targets, shoots in Overwatch or double shoots. Maybe not the best officer. Technically, they could shoot and then use an officer ability, so that does help them a little bit. Gunners, again, probably shooting or suppressing a lot of the time. So I kind of think probably specialists, maybe technical, and maybe grenadier are your more go-to. And I think technical might not be a bad idea, because I am finding technicals are kind of weak a lot of the time in terms of, like, they don't have any good actions. They're not very good at shooting. They often have SMGs because their heavy weapons are heavy and slow them down. They can't get close enough for flamethrower, which is another reason to have an SMG. They only have one rocket, so once that's done, what else are they going to do? So maybe having command abilities on a technical is a good idea. I'm not sure. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Wait a second, come back. That was Necron. Oh, I can't assign you. Shoot. I can't assign him to this. I could unassign him, but I can't assign him to the squad because the squad's already on a mission. Okay, we're gonna go train up Necron, and I'm gonna try to remember to put him back on his squad later on. Whoops. That's almost a bug the way that works, actually. Also, you might need to be a Lance Corporal to be an officer, by the way. So, Necron, are you a Lance Corporal? Actually, maybe you're not. Shoot. Maybe we... Okay, hold on just a sec. Confused Ankylo. And I'm still figuring out some of this stuff. Alright, yeah, he's only a squaddie. Okay. So... Don't worry about him. Just gotta do a level... Just gotta do a mission, get a level up. Anybody else? Okay, somebody else that would like to be trained up. It's hard to predict who I'm gonna want. We could make another specialist. We could get Seraphim for another squad. That'd be 2 specialists. I think specialists will make pretty good officers, though. Just I got a gut feeling. Alright, we're going to get Seraphim to be an officer because I don't know who else to pick right now. And I don't want to waste any more time thinking about it. So, there you go. And, like, her mobility is a little bit low. Definitely going to be a submachine gun user. Maybe that's even better for an officer, honestly. I still think the focus fire is better than Oscar Mike, but, you know, I could be wrong. Okay, let's keep going. Keep your eyes on the game, Blue. Don't waste 20 minutes talking about base management, right? Right? Alright. Mission time. Destroy the alien relay. That sounds important. Light moderate is getting a little bit more difficult. On the other hand, it's infiltration boost neutral or slightly positive. So if I spend 25 intel and succeed on the mission, we'll have 7 days. Which means we can probably do it. And we should do it, although it's going to be a little bit more dangerous, so we want to send a good squad. Light moderate probably means like 15 soldiers, 15 enemy, maybe 15 to 20 is my guess. I forget the exact chart. So yeah, let's do the A-team. Let's make the A-team here. Shinobi, Specialist, Sharpshooter. And we got an officer. Perfect. Ranger, Gunner, Grenadier. Anybody else? Got other corporals. We've already got a Shinobi, don't we? Yeah. Well, he's already a corporal. Sarius, you seem to be doing well. So we got the 3 S's, we got the 2 G's. We need an A and a T. Assault. Wounded. It would have been Dawn, but he was wounded. Sorry. Anybody else for assault? Or technical? Never have enough technicals. There they are. Well, you're only a squaddie. Sorry, Necron, maybe your chances of being an officer have just diminished, but you're on the Unpanic now. That's gotta be worth something. And then I just need an assault to balance this out. Again, we're probably gonna have to go with a no-namer. Unless we want to wait 12 days. Well... we probably can't send 8 people anyway. In fact, we can't even send 7. We'll have to send 6. Yeah, we can do 6, but we're not going to have enough for 7. This is going to be a tough mission. But 6 good soldiers. And I want to have the basics. So we got to have at least one shinobi, one specialist, and then a good round of like someone to break cover. Sharpshooter helps, especially because no, this is infiltration. I mean, this is the backbone. We're missing out on the assault and the technical, but it's a pretty good mix. I don't need 2 medkits though. Probably. Famous last words. We've got smoke, fair bit of grenades. Sure. Don't panic, you'll be fine. I'm just double checking everything, but I think this will work. 4 days plus 75% is 7 days. And we're under 7 days, so we'll get over 100%, which means it will be at least light moderate. I can spend the intel. Okay. Pretty sure that checks out. I wish I could have sent 7 people, but I think 6 will be fine. I'm a little bit nervous. It's our most dangerous base difficult mission yet. And I think that's because the Advent strength went up. It was 1, but I think they did their supply raid. I didn't stop them. That probably added 1. That's probably why the missions... In fact, even these 2 missions, I think the baseline difficulty goes up. Like, it's retroactive. So if the Advent strength goes up while you're infiltrating, the difficulty goes up. And you just have to deal with it. So keep in mind, you know, if you started at 1 or 2... and then during the course of the infiltration that goes up a couple points, those missions are not going to be the same as you thought they were. Just, I'm pretty darn sure that's how it works. Wow, I'd like to get to a mission for this episode. Let's get some time.
Advanced Warfare Center now.
Oh, but now we gotta look at this! Congratulations, we've built the AWC. You can upgrade it, and this lets you do 2 trainings at the same time. But that's not going to happen for a very, very long time. So then what else have we got? You can put a scientist here to heal people. And it's really good. Now, I think it does not affect your research speeds. Like, we have got 2 scientists who help the research. But assigning them does not reduce your research speed unless you're comparing it to a lab. Because you can assign them to a lab to further increase the research. But the passive bonus, I believe, applies no matter what. Although I am going to double check this, just in case. So, for instance, something we've already got, so there's no weirdness. Actually, just something with a long time. So, 12-day combat armor, 21-day Illyrium. Let's just double check. This makes all our healing twice as fast, which is really important. And as long as the numbers aren't different... 12 days. Oh no, they did go up. I was wrong. So if you put someone on healing, you don't get their research speed effect. Oh, that's not good at all. I think they still count, like, there's a minimum number of scientists. I know combat armor requires 2, and then Illyrium requires 3 as a minimum. So on that side, it still counts as though they're on the team. But the speed definitely went up, or like the time to research definitely went up. Alright, well that's a difficult decision early on. Early on then, I think I need the research. Later on, when I've got like 5 or 6 scientists and they've got diminishing returns, that'll be less of a problem. We can also retrain people if you don't like their perks. So if they've got, I don't know, you picked some ability that you decided sucked, you can change it. It just takes like, well, it takes time depending on how high a level they are. But here's the really fun one. So this is going to be quite random, and it totally depends on the character and the class, what abilities you can choose here. But now that we've got it, I just want to go over a quick overview of how the AWC works. So pick a soldier like Jonah. So we now have this AWC abilities. There are 3 trees. The pistol tree, I think... There are exactly 7 pistol perks. They're just randomly scattered through it for everybody. So anybody that wants to use a pistol can train up how to use a pistol, and they get all the cool abilities. Sometimes you might get them earlier than others, just depending on your luck. But there are also 3 offensive and defensive trees, which are... well, they're random, and they're an ability that's not in your base class. So a shinobi won't be getting sword skills in their offensive tree because they already have them. But they might get, I don't know, sniper skills or ranger skills. And then defensive, they might get whatever, some other not from their own class. So you're never going to be able to double up on stuff, or like if you had an option like at Corporal, pick one of 3, you picked 1. Options 2 and 3 are never going to show up here as far as I'm aware. So, you know, you're still missing those for good if you choose not to pick them up. Anyway, sometimes you'll get amazing cross-class skills here. Salvo means you can throw a grenade without ending your turn. Deep cover means you get hunker down automatically. They're both pretty mediocre in my book, so I wouldn't be in a huge rush to train those up. So, for instance, at least at level 1, Jonah's AWC ability is kinda weak. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't go fishing for someone who has an amazing ability that they could learn in a couple days. So let's check out our ranger here. That's pretty amazing. Resilience is not terrible. It's a nice passive. It's not something I would pick as a skill very often at a level up. But minus 50 crit chance, sure. I mean, hey, that's passively a good idea. The thing is, +1 mobility is amazing. So we'll probably, I mean, there's no doubt. We're just going to pick that. It's not a huge difference, but that's good for basically everyone. And anyone that can get +1 mobility, you should probably train it up. So that's done. We'll talk about the other abilities later on as they come up. I generally train the highest ranked soldiers first because they need a break, and then other characters can go on missions while they're training, and then as they rank up, they can get a turn. So we did pick up another recruit. Vladimir Ivanov just joined. Hopefully he's not a faceless. Let's continue. All right, another mission. All right, at least we got a nice long time, and we're gonna get, assuming we survive, two new resistance personnel. So that'll bring us up to 10 people here, which is pretty good. So again, I would like to do it. See what kind of squads we've got left. So we'll be down to squad number 4. Not bad though. I gotta remember Necron is supposed to be on the noob tube if I want to bring back it the way it used to be. Alright, so let's see if we can make another group of one of each class here. Again, we'll start with the squaddies. I don't think this will be a super difficult mission. So, sorry about the wound time. I know we just about cut your wound time in half, Dave. But I couldn't spare the research. So you're just going to have to wait out a little bit longer. Alright, let's just start off. Shinobi is always good. I mean, I've never seen a situation where you didn't want to miss Shinobi. Assault. I'll just take all the squaddies here. Alright, so what have I got? Sorry. Shinobi, Grenadier, Assault. Shinobi, Grenadier, Assault, Ranger, Specialist, Sharpshooter, Gunner. Probably missing one. What am I missing? I got Sharpshooter, Shinobi, Specialist, Grenadier, Gunner, Ranger. I'm missing a Technical. I'm always missing the Technical. I don't have any Technicals ready to go. It's probably because my tech is, I maybe have one as a Haven Advisor or something. Yes. And I just don't have quite as many of them as other classes. So that's fine for now. I'll fill your squad up. And to be honest, 8 is not enough. That's just your baseline. You actually will want 10 or 12 in your squad, because there are missions you can take 12 soldiers on. And also sometimes they'll be wounded or they'll be in training. So, you know, you need to have some replacements. Like, technically, I could have a second assault on the Unpanic so that I can have a replacement for Dawn. But that's fine. You gotta make a core. So we can send 7. I will not be able to send 8, so 7 is the number. This is fine. Sorry, no Technical again, but, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbled. But yeah, we will get 2 more Resistance members, which is worth it. It's the second easiest mission type by default. We got a med kit, we got Smoke, Ranger missing something because of mobility. Yeah, Pixel's kind of slow. And I don't want to give him a submachine gun, so that's fine. Just 1 flash will have to do. Yeah, there's not much I can do for him. Unless we can get a personal combat sim that gives him plus mobility, which should be pretty cool. He's already got extended magazine and hair trigger. I want to make sure my sharpshooters all get stocks, so let's start with that. Gotta make sure I check this until they've all got one. So here you go. Last time fella didn't have a stock, now he does. It's not a bad idea to give him an expanded magazine as well. Hair trigger, less of a value because he's not on Overwatch. Rangers are though. You got a... Yeah, hair trigger, expanded magazine, that's a pretty good combo. I'm gonna give the assault... I really don't have like a priority system for like which characters get the weapon upgrades for now. I'm just giving to them as I remember them. But the advanced laser sight for crit and a better... It basically works up close, so it's best on an assault in my book. They probably don't need these two as much. The Overwatch shots for most assaults are terrible, so don't worry about that. Anybody else good with Overwatches? Sometimes the gunner. I'm pretty sure suppression Overwatches would count. So if you're going suppression, this is a little bit more shot. Yeah, it's reaction fire, so not Overwatch specific. So that's something. And then expanded magazine is less valuable this early on for you. Probably just save it for other rangers. As we find other rangers. That's fine. Okay. Get out there and infiltrate, you guys. And of course, anytime here I'm sending 7. If I wanted to spend intel, I could probably send 8 or 9 if I really wanted to, you know, nail it down.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Menace ready to deploy.
But very light. It's very light. 30 minutes? Is this a no battle episode, maybe? It's fine. We've had so little campaign progress the last few episodes. It's probably worth it. Okay. I was supposed to remember some numbers. 12 and 21 or 19 or something. Let's have a look. This should have reduced it by, like, whatever the third scientist would be. Yeah, so combat armor was 12. So it must have gone down by at least 20%. Yes, right? Well, 20% of 10 is 2. 20% of 12 is 2 and a little bit. So it must have gone down by around 20%. And Delirium was it 21 days? I think it was 21 days. And 3 scientists. So technically, because we've done research once, we have 3 active scientists in terms of minimum requirements. Yeah, that's good, actually. So I think I've pretty much nailed down how research works. I think you get diminishing returns. Every extra scientist is, you know, maybe it's 30%, then 25, 20, 18, 16, 4. I don't know how the formula is, but, you know, every time you do it again is kind of less valuable. Plus, I don't think they get to work in a lab. You want 4 scientists for your lab once you build a lab. Having the research bonus doesn't apply for that. And then, you know, your scientists are giving you an even bigger research bonus. Anyway, I think the priority here is to get the resistance radio. And then as soon as I have the supplies, I'm going to build a tower and finish my contacts. So I have 3 out of 3. And I've got enough intel that I don't have to worry about it. And then after that, we probably want to get the autopsies going. We'll also need the Proving Ground, another building, but I don't have enough power for that right now, so yeah.
I'll see that work begins
good enough.
Immediately, Commander.
Again, my build order could be totally wrong. You know, if you're already an expert at Long War 2 or you're watching this 5 years from now and it's clear that I'm making a terrible mistake, I'm just learning, guys. I'm just learning. Any new Haven? Thought someone. It stopped the time, so I thought someone might have like joined up. There's generally a little message in the bottom left. +1 intel. We could get a soldier. Oh, but he's like... Is this one of my named soldiers? Someone from... probably someone I imported from the character pool. I think I have to try. This is actually slightly different. I'm not sure I've seen this objective before. It's an extract VIP... But it contributes to the liberation chain, I think. So I'm not sure if I've done one of these. I think I've done dark VIPs that had this effect for the liberation, but maybe I've followed a different route. So the problem is... Light is not as easy as very light. It's better than moderate light. But we're only going to get... Even if I spend the intel, and I don't have a ton of intel, we can only get it to... would that be 75% It's like 2.5 days. No. It's like 5 days and a little bit. Let's see if it's possible. I mean, my base infiltration, I think, is 5 days for 5 soldiers. Maybe 6. So it might depend on the loot. Also, I'm running low on soldiers here. Yeah, that's kind of a problem too. Now that we've got people training up, kind of takes them out of the active pool a bit. Let's just see what happens. Oh, I really would have to take a lot of rookies. Not convinced this is a great idea. Even though I'd like to rescue that dude and continue the liberation chain. I don't think the time is on our side. Pick a couple people. We're not taking 6. I think we could take 5. Because I think, if I did all the math right, 75% of 3 days... Well, it has to be, because... Does it have to be? It doesn't have to be. It could have done it wrong. No, 2/3 of 3 is 2. That's 66%. So, if it was plus 66%, we get to about 5 days. Plus 75% has to be a little bit more than 5 days. So theoretically, we could do it with 5. Then we get someone from the character pool. But I'm doing it with a shinobi. Do it with 2 shinobis. Maybe we should just do it with 2 shinobis. Skip everybody else. Because I don't really want to level up the rookies, per se. And the Grenadier, if I don't fight anything, doesn't really help. I still have to spend intel. But I might be able to get to 125%, which might drop this down from light to very light, which would eliminate a couple enemy soldiers. Let me just check something quick. Is anything ready to go? Yes! If we just do this mission, and unlike last time where I fast-forwarded as soon as I finished, this was a few episodes ago, if I just don't let any time pass once this is done, we'll still have 3 days and I'll have more people to choose from. I think this is the smarter play. Do this mission, bring my soldiers home, and then immediately send some of them off on that other rescue mission. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to make this one into a new episode because we've already been spending over 30 minutes on the campaign. So next episode, we will start with Operation Mountain God. And I'm going to write myself a note between episodes. Don't pass any time on the overworld map. Whatever happens at the end of that mission, I have to start infiltrating as soon as I get back. Because I need those soldiers. Don't let me forget, guys. I messed it up last time. I mean, I got my scientists, so it was okay. But I put myself in a bad position last time. Alright, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. Next episode, clearly a mission. So today's episode was just kind of a chill campaign, sort of, you know, learning about stuff type of an episode. I think that's fine once in a while. And, yeah. See how the names go. I'll probably need to take a break. I'm getting a little bit ahead in the recordings here, so might do like 1 or 2 more episodes and then let some of these videos catch up. Because I want to add some more names to some of these unnamed people, like you know, you guys. If you still want to send in character pools, clearly they'll show up eventually. But if you just want to give me a name, I can rename some of the randos we've got. In fact, technically, I think I thought I could change. There's probably a way to do it with a config file. I think there's a way to change scientist names and engineer. Like, technically, they've got a nation and a name. They might not have, like, character portraits, but technically they exist in some file. There's probably a way of customizing those, although I don't know off the top of my head. So let's not worry about customizing engineers and scientists. That would be cool, though. If someone knows how, let me know, and I'll research into that. But I'm not sure if that's even possible or terribly difficult. I don't think I can change Haven member names either automatically. That would be, I mean, like if I had a lot of names, I'd like to be able to change these guys as well. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Also, I might want to switch some of these people out. We had a spy mission in both of those already. They're probably safe from spies at the moment, but the soldier is helping to recruit, and I want to get the numbers up a little bit higher before we switch over to supply. And once we've got like 13 and like maybe a month has gone by with no spy mission, then I feel like we won't need to we won't need to leave the soldiers there any longer. We can pull them out. Like, you need the soldiers to find the spies, and then once you're pretty sure you don't have spies, you're not recruiting anymore, you can probably take a break. That's my theory, because we're still not making any actual income. But I mean, just to prove this to you guys, I don't think I've shown it on camera, but even if I switched over there, that's 18 income if I kept them there for the rest of the month. So it might be a little bit more than that for a full month, but like, that's so little. Like, I feel like it's just a lot better strategy to just rush the intel for good missions, and we have been getting pretty good missions, and just try to recruit a few soldiers as you go along. Yeah, I think that's fine. Alright folks, that's all for today's episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm having a good time. And I'll see you next episode.